Last year still feel like last week. Now my time is here, I can't sleep. You only are who you think you are, and you think too hard, I can't think no more. And I'm on my way, lying on it, can't wait. It's time to party, get the fire started. When the lights come on that stage, and I say, hold up, get lit. Shoot to kill, I can't miss. Stay moving still, I let loose a will. It's too for real, it ain't this. Girl, I've been on my grind. I just wanna get right. See the homies living that life. Yeah, the shit will be nice. I've been working hard for a while now. In case you thought I would tire out, all the liars bow and start lying down. I pass flyers round through the entire crowd. Yeah, y'all must not have got the memo. Started off with hello, killing off the weakest ammo. Fire on the beat, piling heat on the demo. I speak to the devil on each instrumental. Like you, like me, well I like you, and I spread your word through haiku. This girl I knew back in high school just hit me up, but I saw right through. You used to diss me hard, I used to think you're bad. Now I'm on the better, what you think of that? And I'm not quite sure what you think you have, but you ain't got me, now drink to that. Oh, all I need is my microphone, and the night alone I gotta find my zone. It's getting too crazy, shit is getting too...
Well, hello, Small Boss, how are you?
I'm doing well, Will. How are you?
Small Boss, I'm doing so much better now that I'm speaking with you, acclaimed artist and producer. And listen, I want to know, Small Boss, talk to me a little bit about your upbringing. Where were you born, and when did you realize that you had a love of not only music, but specifically hip hop?
I was born in Mineola, New York. That's where I grew up. And I kind of knew like really, really early on that I love music. At 7 years old, like hip hop just caught my ear. Even earlier than that, I'd already started like writing songs in my notebooks of just like rudimentary, what would be considered like pop, hip hop of like the early days of my childhood. But then things really started picking up when I was 7 years old, and it was just like nonstop from there. I was like freestyling on the playground in recess for like 45 minutes at a time and stuff. And like that was like happening at 7 years old. So it's almost 20 years later now, and that's pretty amazing.
I love it. Look, at these past 18 months have been tough for all people, especially artists. I'm curious to know what you were able to do throughout these past 18 months to keep your creative juices flowing.
I really just from day one of COVID, I mean, like personally in our company and things like that, we were all affected in different ways. But I think that really our goal was just to stay as creative as possible right from the get-go. So we immediately started writing songs from day one of lockdown over Zoom, and just trying to make light of a dark situation at that point. So it was kind of just like our light at the end of the tunnel was these songs are gonna make people happy at some point, and people need that right now. So that was kind of our fuel to keep going.
Amen, my friend. Well, I'm also curious to know, are there any specific songs that you wrote during quarantine that you're excited to release that you can give us a little sneak peek about?
There's so many. Like I literally have like 2 projects on the way in the next 12 months. So I'm really excited about that. Also, we even released some of our quarantine music. My EP Locked and Loaded with our artist Slam Type, which released last August, was written and recorded fully like during the first month of quarantine. One of our artists on my record label, Black Tie Records, Billy Childs, wrote a song called Kick Kick, which also released on our record label, and that was written during quarantine. And like I said, there's probably over 20-30 songs that are coming in the next 12 months I'm really excited about.
I love it, Small Boss. Well, look, in doing a deep dive on you and your artistry, you're much more than a hip hop artist. You're actually a really great storyteller. Being a director, I can maybe notice that more than others. I'm curious how the storytelling affects your writing process.
That's so well timed of a question, because I'm currently like working on a project right now, which is like completely storytelling throughout the entire thing, and it's like one song to the next. So sometimes like if I just catch a creative vibe, like I'm not gonna limit myself by like I need to fit the story needs to fit the words. Like sometimes I'll hear a beat and it just like flows out of me. But other times, like specifically with this project I'm working on right now, it's really important to me that the story connects each song through. So I mean, taking or approaching a song that way is a lot more of like writing an actual story, where I'll start with a draft and I'll start with a concept and I'll start with maybe just actually writing a story that doesn't rhyme just down, so I have all of the facts, and then I can turn that into a rhyme. And I mean, it's kind of funny, but I think I got like experience doing that because, like I said, I started rapping really early on, and like a cheat code for me during school was that every teacher would offer us like a creative assignment where you could like make it into a song or a rap, and I like got really good at like just taking an entire chapter of a textbook and turning that into something that rhymed, and that pretty much got me through high school.
I love it, Small Boss. Well, listen, final question. Before I actually ask it, I want to let all of our audience know, for more on the incredible Small Boss, the Don, you can read more about him right below this video. Small Boss, if you had to give yourself, your younger self, any piece of advice, what would it be?
I think about that a lot too. I think if I had to give myself, I would just first and foremost, I would just say like do exactly what you're doing. Don't stop, and don't let anyone influence you in any way, because like you got this, kid. But really, if you're asking me if there's something I would go back and maybe do a little bit differently, I think that I would maybe have explored like the world of production and music theory younger, and gotten really into piano as soon as I started rapping at 7, because that would have really just amplified my skills earlier than I started to get into that kind of stuff. And maybe just made use of like, because I don't know, I was kind of like a hooligan as a kid, so I could have maybe made use of the resources that were available to me through like my school or whatever to amplify my music, maybe if there was any kind of programs and stuff. But I wasn't really interested in doing that. I was more interested in getting into trouble. So if there's any young artist listening right now, I'd say, hey man, just buckle down and focus on the music, because that's really what matters.
Listen, Small Boss, what I love so much about you is not only your vulnerability and your ability to go there. You're obviously an artist and a human that has done the work. I also love that for the young small bosses of the world looking up to you, that you have an unapologetic nature to you, and that you don't put yourself in a box, in that you really are truly a true artist with a capital A.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Will. I really,
Listen,
really appreciate
I'm from New York. I say it like it is.
it. Me too, man. We should link up sometime. We got to link up.
Would love it. Well, Small Boss, God bless you, and thank you so much for your time today. I'm glad that we're connected now.
Yes, I'm very glad we're connected, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Me too.